The weather's getting warmer over here and these girls are getting bigger, so I really need to make some progress on this chicken coop. I'm using 1/2-inch welded wire hardware mesh here, and this will be good to keep pretty much all predators out of the chicken coop. It's more expensive than your standard chicken wire, but it's a lot sturdier too. I want to make sure that predators aren't going to get in and attack my flock, so I'm going with the sturdier option here. Oh, and I found a faster way to cut it too. I'm going to take a break from the tedium of hammering in that wire mesh. Now I'm going to move on to the roof. I got to finish up some of these rafters before I can put some of the sheet metal panels on. And sure enough, here comes the rain. This is all salvage material I got from down the road. This is going to save me a ton of money versus buying new sheet metal roofing from the hardware store, so I'm pretty happy to have found it. However, I do need to make some modifications to get the pieces to span the full length. Haha, what a day. The chickens are really going to appreciate this roof for the wetter months of the year. Well, things have dried up over here thankfully, and I'm moving on to the floor. These are some weird old bifold closet doors I salvaged. I don't really know what they are, but they'll do the job for the flooring here. They're only 1/4-inch plywood, which is thinner than I would like, so I'm adding a bit of reinforcement strips here, just some 1x2 lumber. New plywood from the hardware store would have easily cost me over $100 to do this part of the coop, so I'm happy to have found these materials and put them to good use. Nice and solid. Next up, I'm doing the siding. These are some old cedar boards that I had used for raised garden beds a couple years ago. They're a little bit rotted out, so I'm going to run them through this thickness planer, get them looking good as new. The difference is night and day on these boards. I'm so glad I took the time to run these through the planer. They look good as new. This is where the entrance to the coop will go, so before I can add any siding, I need to frame out the little door. I made this jig to allow me to easily cut a bevel into each piece of siding. My hope was that it would allow the boards to interlock a bit more, giving a bit more protection from the wind. I'm taking a break from the siding next, just so I can finish up some of this mesh. As the birds are getting bigger, they're getting noisier and a bit stinkier, so we want them out of the house as much as possible. With a bit more of this mesh up, we can let the chickens spend the whole day here, and we'll just bring them in at night for now. This wall will have the nesting boxes, as well as a door to access them so we can retrieve the eggs without having to go into the coop. I'm going to frame out the access door before putting up the siding. This next wall has no doors or windows, so it's going to come together quite quickly. And I'll cut all the pieces to length here, just to tidy it up. You probably noticed I was using these fencing staples to attach the mesh. Well, that was a bit overkill, so I was able to borrow this stapler, which will make the job a lot easier and a lot faster. This mesh is finally done, and boy am I relieved. I've still got the doors and a few other things to finish, but I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far. This last wall is going to contain one huge door, which is going to be really helpful when it comes time to clean out the inside of the coop. Instead of using the cedar paneling for this wall, I'm actually using 3/4 inch plywood. The biggest reason for this is, well, I kinda ran out of cedar siding. But that's okay, because I had a few extra partial sheets laying around of this 3/4 inch ply that'll do the trick nicely. These are heavy-duty gate hinges, which will help support the weight of these really large doors. And just like that, all 4 walls are done. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. We've got a lot more great content coming out, including the rest of the chicken coop build, as well as more videos about homesteading, slow living, and other fun projects around the property.